Hello, my name is Valerie Pacino, and I am a Master's of Public Health candidate here at the University of Washington. I'm here today to talk to you about couches. I am a born couch potato. I herald from a long line of proud and avowed couch potatoes. To paraphrase the classic film My Cousin Vinny, my father was a couch potato. My uncle was a couch potato. 5 aunts on my mother's side were couch potatoes. Sometimes my mom will call and ask what I did the previous weekend, and I'll respond, just some couching. Couching is indeed a family affair. On the left, you'll see my beautiful daughter, Hattie, doing some couching. On the right, my adorable other daughter, Louise, and she does a modified version of couching where she props herself up on the backs of our chairs. So our family's loyalty to our furniture is clear. So you'll imagine my surprise when I learned that my couch is trying to kill me. Furniture represents the largest single fuel load in your home. Furniture foam, the guts of the couch, is incredibly flammable. So in 1975, California enacted a furniture flammability standard that said if you take an open flame, like a lighter, and expose it to the furniture foam inside, it cannot ignite for 12 seconds. We'll call this the 12-second rule. In order to be sold in California, to this day, all furniture has to pass the 12-second rule. That sounds great, right? Well, I went looking for some studies to tell me just how great it was. How many lives spared, how many injuries averted, how much property left undamaged. What I found is that there is not a single study to say that the 12-second rule has any fire safety benefits. I'll repeat that because it's a doozy. Furniture sold in California must withstand a small flame, like a lighter, for 12 seconds without igniting. Because California's market is so vast, 40% of all furniture sold nationwide complies with the 12-second rule. And there are 0 studies that have demonstrated the 12-second rule has any fire safety benefits. 0, zilch, nada, none. Whatever word you want to use to represent that big goose egg right there. Okay, that's pretty silly, having a rule on the books with no fire safety benefits. But it could be worse, right? Right? At least our couches aren't dangerous, right? In order to satisfy the 12-second rule, furniture manufacturers put flame retardants in furniture foam. The amount of flame retardants is staggering. By volume, 3 to 5% of the furniture foam must be made of flame retardants in order to pass the test. And those flame retardants aren't just in our couches, they're in us. Over time, they crumble out of furniture, only to be absorbed by our bodies. Of all the toxins in our bodies, and there are a lot, flame retardants represent the single largest proportion. Because Europe is far ahead of us in regulating chemicals, North Americans carry 10 to 40 times the concentration as Europeans. Children have 3 times the concentration as their mothers. And cats have up to 100 times the concentration as adult people. Let's look Louise in her cute little face when we say that. House cats have the largest body burden of toxic flame retardants compared to every other living creature on the planet. Okay, so they have no fire safety benefits and they're in us, but what's the harm? Flame retardants have been linked to diabetes, cancer, lower IQ, obesity, lower fertility, learning disabilities, lower sperm count, hormone disruption, and a whole slew of other chronic health problems. Compelling research is being conducted right now to establish a link between flame retardants and autism. 210 scientists have signed the San Antonio Statement, highlighting the health and environmental harm caused by flame retardants. Dozens upon dozens of groups favor amending or repealing the 12-second rule. All right, so the 12-second rule has no fire safety benefits. It forces furniture manufacturers to make our couches poisonous. The flame retardants crumble out over time and our bodies become contaminated. Flame retardants are linked to a slew of health problems, and lots of people have come out publicly and said there are serious environmental and health harm risks as a result. What's the alternative? The 12-second rule was enacted in 1975, and I'd like to believe that those who enacted it did not anticipate the consequences we endure today. We certainly don't want to rush in and damn the next generation with a hasty alternative. We want to be thoughtful about what we enact in its stead. We want to, in order to test an alternative, we would need to do laboratory tests and real-world fire safety tests and sophisticated modeling and cost-benefit analyses. And we'd want to gather the key stakeholders around the table and have several comment periods and testing periods. And we'd want to integrate the input of stakeholders in a thoughtful and intentional way. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is an agency in Washington, D.C. whose stated purpose is protecting the public from unreasonable risks from products that pose a fire or chemical hazard. In 1993, the Consumer Product Safety Commission started testing an alternative flammability standard. They did everything I just mentioned: laboratory tests, real-world fire tests, sophisticated modeling, cost-benefit analyses, meetings with stakeholders, several comment periods and testing periods, and integrating stakeholder input in a very thoughtful way. Finally, in 2008, they offered a superior flammability standard that did not encourage the use of toxic flame retardants and had proven fire safety benefits. Let's compare. The current standard is California's 12-second rule, which was enacted in 1975. It places pounds of toxic chemicals in your home. It is 0% effective at preventing death, injury, and property damage. The modernized standard is one that the Consumer Product Safety Commission issued as a proposed rule in 2008. It took 15 years to test and evaluate. It does not encourage the use of toxic flame retardants, and it is 60% effective at preventing death, injury, and property damage. But what happened since 2008? Excuse the pun, but the Consumer Product Safety Commission just sat on their standard. If the Consumer Product Safety Commission is indeed charged with protecting the public, why aren't they enacting their own superior flammability standard? If that's the question you're asking the $23.2 million question. There is untoward influence in politics these days. I don't think I need to tell you that. And I posit that the Consumer Product Safety Commission is not immune. Each of the last 6 years, since 2007, bills have been introduced to the California legislature that aim to regulate flame retardants in some way. Of the 6 bills, 0 have passed. In that time, in one state over one obscure flammability standard, the chemical industry has spent $23.2 million lobbying California officials. This has protected their profits, but it has made us less safe and more sick. If you want to do something right now, you can add your voice to the growing chorus of concerned Cascadians who are opting to circumvent both the California legislature and the Consumer Product Safety Commission. You can call Governor Jerry Brown right now and tell him, well, not right now, after the conference, and tell him, I don't want to buy toxic couches. We're confident Jerry Brown can use his executive authority to modernize the 12-second rule, consistent with the superior rule that the Consumer Product Safety Commission has let languish. If you want to learn more about toxic couches, visit http://daily.citeline.org/toxic-couches. Thank you.